What is up, guys? In today's video we're going to be spectating random players for the final time on the chapter 4 island. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to hit the like, subscribe, like some more, and comment down below what you thought of chapter 4. Overall, I think this chapter has been really good. I'm going to have a video kind of reviewing it and going over each season probably towards like next week before the launch of the next season. But chapter 4 I think was really good aside from season 3. But seasons 1, 2, and 4 I thought were a lot of fun to play. Happy that this map got changes over time. It's definitely very different than how it was at the start of the chapter, and that was even only a year ago. I'm not the biggest fan of the jungle, but I don't know, map changes are one of the things that I look forward to most, like season to season in Fortnite. So if they're changing the map, you know, there's going to be some that don't hit, like the jungle, but I would rather them, you know, make changes, and sometimes they're not it, than not make changes at all. I'm landing Rumble Ruins this game because it currently is a bargain bin wild week, and you can buy the exotic Maven shotgun here for only 400 gold. So I'm hoping to, you know, spectate someone. Gonna be get that and then be a little more aggro. One thing you got to be careful with though if you're landing here is just buying it too soon, because some people will land right on the NPC and buy it, and then it's just like they get beamed by somebody, and then it's a free exotic Maven for the person that killed them. This is an AI, I'm pretty sure, because they're just like pickaxing it constantly right there. And there also is a boss and a vault here, which is pretty good. It's not like a heisted vault, like you're not going to get any mythics, but it's a few chests and legendary chests, which is, you know, a solid amount of loot. You're also close to 2 radio towers, because the one that spawns at Frenzy can either spawns at Frenzy or like right here. It's in front of the player we're spectating right now. And like either way that goes, you're going to be like close to it. Guys, no mobility. This is gonna be a weird push. Like the player he fought, like shot at, was weak there, but he has no close range weapons. I feel like he's susceptible to getting outplayed here. That guy's just gonna run, but if that guy played that rock with like a shotgun, I think their odds of winning that fight are decently high. Like, I don't feel comfortable with how this Skull Trooper is at all. They got a big pot. Do they get it off though? They go for a snipe, 17 HP. Okay, thank you. I was like, I really hope this does not work out. Now we could spectate this player. They did buy an exotic Maven. I didn't even realize that. They got it and got away. They only had 1 shell though, which is why they kind of like backed off and reset that. But yeah, I don't know what that Skull Trooper was really doing there. It was like just really shambles fight for all of them. Like, this player had little HP, no ammo. That Skull Trooper had no ammo. I think he actually killed that Skull Trooper with his last shot. Did he go to Sunswoon Lagoon and loot up here? This might actually be the play. And if you wanted to get the exotic Maven, you could just kind of land here for a more like chill landing and then third-party Rumble Ruins, because a lot of the people landing there kind of have like a scuffed early game like we just saw, because I feel like the loot is just like really spread out and weird. I've never really been a fan of any of those locations, whereas this place you can kind of loot up quickly and then, you know, third-party them, capitalize on that chaos, and maybe even get a free exotic Maven if you're able to eliminate someone who already had one. He got a pizza here, but it doesn't really give much white health. It gives 30 shield and 5 whites. There is coolers down on like the bottom part, so if I was this player, I would like to go get one of the coolers and then probably just get health from like a flopper or something. I think there's even some barrels down there as well, but instead they're gonna eat pizza slices because it doesn't really matter. Those are the slices that would have been left anyways. But there should definitely be some whites here. And I think there's even shield flowers on the other side of the mountain, kind of facing them. I don't know what to make of this player. They seem decent, but like also they're struggling with like bizarre things. Like, getting that chest should not have been that difficult. I don't know. They're just not like familiar looting this area. It's a med kit, but I wouldn't even bother using this because, like I said, I probably would have just got the shield flowers or one of the coolers or something. I don't know if they've changed this area. I haven't really landed here this season at all. I would land here sometimes last season because it was nice. There was an NPC that sold a purple pump, and then also the rift statues worked, so you could just kind of loot this, buy that pump, and then rift away. Pretty convenient. One of the really nice things about the exotic Maven though is you don't need a spray weapon, and so you can run like double mobility or, you know, double heals, or like mobility like bunkers or mobility ice wall without really feeling like you're losing anything. Because like with the sharp tooth shotgun you can kind of, you know, run sharp tooth twin mag, but you definitely don't feel as lethal up close. But with the exotic Maven you're like incredibly lethal up close, and you can run double whatever you want. So this player purchased the purple twin mag there. I feel like that's actually a waste. It's not the biggest deal, but in a minute 30 seconds, the boss at the radio tower right next to them is going to spawn, and then they're going to be able to get a gold twin mag arrow from them. I don't think AR rarity is the biggest deal one way or the other, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, why would you buy one when you have a free one coming? It's not like the end of the world, especially with it being a bargain, Ben Wild Week, and gold likely resetting or not being a part of next season. This is actually so unfortunate. One of the things with like when there's AI at a POI like this is you can use it to like bait people. So this John Wick just like gets kind of screwed because of the AI. He's getting landed on. Just gonna reset that. That's good. They're to his right. They're like playing this low ground over here. I saw them for like a brief moment. He doesn't see them. Okay, now he does. This should be a kill. And this might even be the person that has the katana. Like if I was this player, I get like wanting to get the vault loot, but I would be wanting to get to the radio tower somewhat early because it's likely the person from Eclipse Estate is going to go to this radio tower near him. And then that could be katana for you. Like I would like to hopefully get to it early and then beam them as they're katanaing. I feel like that's like typically what's going to happen. Oof. So that almost went south for the player with spectating, because with the Witch's Broom, one thing you have to keep in mind is that it doesn't let you start the animation of taking your weapon out until after you land. So just like landing on people 50-50 like that, even with an exotic Maven, can kind of go south. I'm not sure what they're doing here. I don't know if they're gonna... Okay, I guess they're gonna go open the vault, but the radio tower bosses are about to spawn. So they might miss out on this radio tower, like the one here. And that's why I was saying you would want to get here early, because like if the person coming from Eclipse Estate clears it in that time, they're probably going to katana to it. And if you're just kind of like over here, there's a shack, I feel like you can easily like beam that person and get the katana for free. And, you know, if you've watched any of my videos this season, you know the radio towers are insane. If you don't, they give you forecast, which allows you to see where the next zone is for the remainder of the game, which is a huge advantage. And they also give you slurp juice with the like changes to slurp juice we got in the middle of this season, each source of it drops half. So we're in solos. Each source of slurp juice is only going to drop one. So to get double slurp, you need to either get like radio tower and combat cache, multiple combat caches, or like throwing an island in there as well. And I feel like you just make your game a lot easier if you are able to get that forecast tower and if you are able to get that early slurp and not require island for your second slurp, or not require like getting lucky and finding multiple caches. Not really sure what this player's doing though. They're like on high alert and I don't know why. They're just looting up. The radio tower hasn't been got yet. There is somebody over there though. See if they go for that. I don't think they will. They seem pretty risk averse. I think they're maybe just going to capture this point. And that is one thing you can do. So the exotic Maven costs 400 gold now. Capturing this point will give you 200 gold. So if you buy the Maven, capture this point, now you only need to get 200 gold over the course of the game to net even there. And getting those legendary chests in the vault will probably get you like close-ish to 200 gold. And so that is kind of one of the ways you can recoup that gold if you are like concerned about it. But again, it's likely that gold will reset next season. It typically does. Sometimes it doesn't though. It's kind of weird where like sometimes they mess up and don't reset gold. But I also wouldn't be surprised if next season just doesn't even have gold at all, or NPCs or like stuff to buy, because, you know, we are going back to chapter 1, even confirmed by Fortnite today. They posted about it. So, you know, we don't really know what is kind of what the game is going to be like. So I really wouldn't be surprised if gold is not a thing to be concerned about next season. That boss that got downed, the key card is on the ground. So somebody, you know, that player that was over there maybe got it. Again, if you're this player, I'm not really sure what you're looting for at this point. Maybe 2 extra shockwaves, but like, I don't know. I don't know if they have on the... I mean, they don't have on the go bag. I was going to say, I don't know if they have on the go bag and they're like looking for stuff to open or what. What did Zone do? Zone kind of pulled it to the other like side of the map. The snow area. Kind of want to switch off this player, but it's such a struggle sometimes to find Somebody, we're spectating. Okay, this is actually the player near this radio tower. And it isn't the player from Eclipse Estate. They got the slurp, but not the card. So I don't really know what's going on here. They just don't want forecast, I guess. All right. Might be baiting it. Go back to the other player. They're going to Frenzy. This guy's still just baiting the card. This is like the hardest point. I mean, he might just be rolling his augments. This is the hardest point in the game to find like somebody to spectate. All right, we got a Twitch streamer. Hopefully they're decent. They just got into a fight. I'm assuming they got this radio tower, but they don't have time to get this chug jug off. Maybe they do. This is gonna make their game harder though. They have time to get it off for sure. And then they're gonna drop it for the slurp, but they're gonna have to use shockwaves to get back into zone, and then they're gonna take white damage anyways. I guess this was the play. Oh, they have soaring sprints as well. They could buy a rift here from this lady actually. Hopefully they do it. So rifts are also half off. I didn't even think of this. That's smart. I know this was a thing, but I forgot like in this moment. W. But yeah, you can buy rifts from her. And one of the crazy things you can do is if you've done her challenges, you can hire her as a follower. And then she'll follow you around the map, right? But you can dismiss her as a follower and then purchase a rift from her after you've dismissed her. So that is, you know, one of the more interesting things you can do. You basically have a rift to go following you around the map if you have the ability to hire her. This person does have Sharp-Tooth Twin Mag Arrow, which can work, but you just have to be a little careful up close. Like you just have to play more safe because, you know, the Twin Mag Arrow isn't as insane of a spray weapon as the Combat SMG is, and they're dead. GG's. But the Twin Mag Arrow isn't as insane as a spray weapon, and so as far as damage output goes, you're gonna struggle versus Sharp-Tooth Combat SMG in like a drawn out fight, or like a, you know, an open fight where you're just kind of like trading damage. But also with the prevalence of the exotic Maven, since it's a bargain bin wild week, the struggle is real. That situation right there just kind of goes to show how quick things can change with a Twin Mag Arrow. Like when someone hits shots with this gun, like it is ridiculous how fast people die. And unfortunately for the player we were spectating, they tried to like throw a shockwave, but you can't, like it gets weird when you're trying to shockwave out of a tree. Like sometimes goes through and then you just go nowhere. Again, double mobility, it's good, but like it's very unforgiving. I guess that's the word I was looking for. This kind of setup is very unforgiving in close range. And with the prevalence of the exotic Maven right now, because of the bargain bin wild week, I just feel like there's way more exotic Mavens on the map. We'll see if this player ends up getting costed by that. But if they're able to, you know, have favorable timing in most of their fights and kind of get the person weak before close range even happens, then that'll be great. But if they go in dry versus an exotic Maven, or just even Sharp-Tooth Combat SMG, I think it's going to be rough for this person to win the fight. They're getting this cash for the second slurp, and then they could probably broom up to this little mini brutal building and then take the pad from there to get into zone. You're going to take some storm damage doing this, I think, but it's fine. There's a lot of like natural heals, and there's also, what's it called? Coolers in that mini brutal building. So I think they'll be fine here. Let's see what zone did though. So if I was this player after padding here, I would want to go to brutal. It's possible they got one of the forecast towers, and so they know where zone is going to be, but I think it's unlikely that they did, since that person we were spectating before them either got the radio tower themselves that was over here, or probably eliminated the person that got the radio tower over here. This is the cooler I was talking about. They should definitely be able to get whites here. Okay, flopper. There we go. And they can take the pad into zone if they want. That's above them. And like I said, I would go to brutal at this point. Not only is it going to be nice if it goes there for you since you're already in those buildings, but also you have pads there. They could also go for island if they wanted, but they're going to be pretty late on this. And the island fights, I feel like kind of... The exotic Maven thrives there. But like I've talked about island a bunch, chapter 4. I do like going for island, but I like getting there early and controlling it. Going late like this is kind of scuffed sometimes. It's also pretty likely with this zone that island is going to be relevant for the next zone. They got shot by somebody. I don't know if that somebody was on island or not, though. Okay, they're not. This is perfect. Clearly, somebody was here at one point, though. I do not like the dropping down from house there. I don't know what is going on here. I'm not... We'll see how this goes. I think if you're fighting island, you want to control the house as much as you can. And hopefully, you know, when people rift like that, get a decent amount of shots on them. And this is kind of, you know, what I was talking about. So this person didn't even have the exotic Maven, but they had Sharp Tooth Combat SMG. And then you saw how quick the person we were spectating died. You don't want to have a fight like that if you're running Sharp Tooth Twin Mag. Just 50-50, no early damage, and then just like you're going to stand in the same room as them. It'd been much better for that default we were spectating to kind of like constant, like they can play in that tunnel and just play the corners constantly and like back up into more right shoulder peaks. But like the way they kind of just like ran at that person was a situation that if this person had the exotic Maven, it would have been an even faster kill. But like also kind of favors that SMG player there. I don't like taking the broom over the shockwaves. If I was going to run one mobility item, I would rather run shockwaves, but like it is what it is. I think the broom is bad. I just like the shockwaves more. And that player, the default we were spectating, had like a stack of shocks on them. Especially at this point in the game, like there's only 6 people left. Like a full stack of shocks should be all you need. I don't know what this person is doing. Okay, that's like close to 100 damage, I think. Oh, I didn't even see them there. I thought they were lower. This should be a kill. This is kind of where the MK isn't as good as the Twin Mag, though. Like these really long range fights. And also, if you have anybody kind of like playing cover well, I feel like also I'd rather have the Twin Mag era. But the MK isn't bad. Like the MK is still really good, but I just favor the Twin Mag era myself. It is a matter of preference. Is this a penguin emote? Is this a part of Nightmare Before Christmas? I like remember the name of this movie. Just saw somebody over there. Probably gonna run up. I wonder when like I'm making these videos and people emote for prolonged periods of time, if they think like the person spectating them is like someone salty about the fact that they died, and that's why they're emoting, or what? They're probably like, oh, I'm getting spectated. It was that guy I just shot out of the sky, but in reality, it's just me. Like, I'm just sitting here talking about the game. I'm happy that they killed that person on island though, because it kind of goes to show like what I was talking about earlier about like the double utility or double mobility is really nice, but I feel like people often like overlook the disadvantage you're at in close range fights, unless you have the exotic Maven, and that's one of the reasons why the exotic Maven is so busted. Not only is it a godlike weapon, but it also like frees you up to carry other stuff and not really put yourself at a disadvantage. So he's sitting in this tree, and that player's over there. So like this is a decent-ish engage for him, but also like he's got to be careful because his back is very exposed to anybody around him, and now he's getting sniped. Like, sitting in trees, it's not... Like, trees are good if you're hiding, but, like, once you start fighting from the tree itself, I feel like it kind of stinks because you don't really have any actual cover. It's just, like, good if people don't know you're in it, somewhat. There's 4 opponents remaining. There's one is on that tilted tower. The clock tower. The others, I haven't really seen anything. I think this player has a really decent chance of winning this game, though. Their aim is good, and they've seemed decisive, which I think those are like 2 of the more important skills for zero build. Honestly, is just aim and decisiveness. I think making wrong decisions that you commit to is better than kind of like doing nothing and kind of, you know, we see it sometimes in these videos where people just kind of like seem so scared to do anything that they just do nothing for like, you know, a bit, and then they lose their timing, and then they're kind of screwed by it. It's a decent damage, but I don't think it's worth pushing that there. Especially, okay, yeah, this player might have forecast. And know where zone is going to be. So they did pull zone. I don't know if they just got lucky or not, but that is one of the advantages of forecast. If you had forecast here, and you know zone is going to be on this, then you just play this. But, like, let's say they didn't have forecast, and they're like, all right, I'm going to go play this side in case it goes there. And then now they have to go all the way back to this, which is playable. You know, you can do that, but it's just like forecast just makes those 50-50 situations when you're kind of guessing zone. You just guaranteed to know the right answer and can play accordingly. And, you know, getting zoned like this versus going across and then having to like get back to this area and retake it from somebody is just significantly, it's more difficult to retake it than it is just control it. And that's why I think forecast is so important for endgame. And then even this zone, like he's about to fight somebody, but like the next zone is kind of like half on this area and half on the ice, you see? And like if you know it's going here, then you just don't rotate to the ice and you have an easier time than like the people who rotate to the ice and have to come back through here. There's a lot of like guessing end game that you just don't have to do if you have forecast. He pre-pops the slurp. He's not very weak, but like popping the slurp there is nice because he's gonna be regenerating health over the course of this fight. And that's another reason why slurps are so good. Oh my god. That player just got like griefed by their ice wall. What was that? I don't like this at all. What is going on? I think this is like one of the worst things he could do. He's drowning himself. Like there was some cover on the other side he could have gone for. I don't know if he saw a person there or what, but this is bizarre. Like of all the things you could do there, I think this is like one of the more questionable decisions. I don't like this at all. Like they still might be decent here, but like they could have gotten this area for free a moment ago. Like there was a guy on the ice, but he was on the other side of the ice. I think maybe he's just like concerned about that person beaming him, so he dropped down into the water. This should be a kill. Yep, GG's. 2 opponents remain. I don't know if anyone ever was already over here. There was like another player like kind of gliding around. Someone just sniped somebody. Didn't hear the shot or anything. Like obviously the sniper is suppressed, but you could still hear shots. I like this Jack's odds of winning this game. Like ever since I spectated them, I thought they were gonna win, but that like going into like the waterfall there, an odd situation. Sees the person. Again, the person that has zone has a much easier time playing the game, whereas like this other person basically has to hit a snipe here to win the game. And they've taken, you know, they have 80 HP now, max. And the fight, they haven't even been able to do anything. It's in that bush. Alright, unfortunately, his Jack only has broom ability, so they're gonna have to wait a little while to be able to use it again. But again, he put this person on the back foot there for sure. Don't know where they went. What the heck? I feel like that was like the weirdest way to try to get up there. Are they choking? Are they nervous? Because you could just use the ledge, right, that you walked past and then mantle this way. Like you just, yeah, you just go up and mantle if you want to do that. There you go. So this Jack is good, but that Michael Myers does have an easier time rotating having the katana. And they have like more kind of like flexibility rotating, I feel like, because they can like use it. And I guess it takes a similar amount of time to return, but it has 3 uses, so you have more use of it. Don't know where that Michael is, but again, I like the way this Jack is playing zone. He's just going to get ahead and hold them. Unfortunately, the previous attack didn't end the game, but just rinse and repeat this end game and you'll win the game eventually. I feel like get ahead, hold, get ahead, hold. Especially when it's a 1v1 like this. If it wasn't a 1v1 at this point, you would just want to be going deeper into zone as it opens. But like once you feel like you can end the game, like all he needs is decent like tags on this Michael and the game is going to end, you know? Please don't lose to the melee. You got this. And that's one of the unfortunate like aspects of going into the melee is like if you miss, just weird things can happen and you get stuck in the animation of the melee. Like that Michael was going ham on the furniture there, and then it just made it a really easy kill for that Jack to get. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you thought of Chapter 4. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.